Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning and good night, wherever you're watching from, because we're on the internet and this is going out worldwide. And I'm here in the lovely abode of Eileen Tackney, and we're here today to talk about her brand new album, The Return Home. We'll give you a closer look at the sleeve in a while, and Eileen's going to tell us about the recording, the writing process, and everything. But before she does that, hello, Eileen, and welcome to your house.
Hello, Paul.
Hello.
Happy to be here.
It's great to be here. It's great. And we are adhering to all the COVID-19 restrictions. As you can see, Eileen is more than 2 meters away from me, so everything's above board.
And we have a diffuser going.
And we've diffusers and everything going, and disinfectant, as somebody once said, is very good for it as well. But look, Eileen, this is your third album. Before we get to The Return Home, we'll talk about your other two albums first.
Okay, so the first one was South, and I did that in 2013, and then Towards Sun was 2015. And yeah, there was sort of a famine for the last 5 years. And I suppose I did this because of lockdown, so there was sort of nothing else to do, and sort of give it the headspace to do it. So I saw an email from the Arts Council, so they were given a COVID bursary award, COVID crisis award, so I applied for that, and sure God, it was great, I got it, and that allowed me to finish it, because
anyone that's watching now, the bursary award, it's a fund, is it, from?
It's a fund, yeah, sort of like it's a grant that they'll give you, so you pitch your project, and then they'll decide whether they'll give you something.
And it's different to the other one that was brought out there by the government, where they were given money literally left, right and centre to other projects, but this is a completely different.
Yeah, this is Arts Council.
This is Arts Council.
Yeah.
This has been going for a while then, the Arts Council one. Before COVID, or?
Well, the Arts Council, they always, it's an ongoing thing, they'll give money to projects, different projects, and they have helped me out with the last two albums as well, which is brilliant, because, I could never finish, and it would take me a long time.
And I'm sure you don't just go lorry up to the council and say, give me a few pound here, I want to do an album. There's certain protocols that you have to fill out.
Yeah, you would have to, yeah.
They don't just say, okay, I
know, and you have to be consistent, and you have to sort of follow through, and
And you have to have a product at the end of it.
You have to have a product at the end of it. I don't know what happens if you don't.
Yeah.
So,
it's very typical. Can we have our money back, please?
I don't know what happens.
Yeah. But so you kind of got an inspiration for the new album from the lockdown, or was it?
Yeah, well, look, I literally sat down because there was nothing happening, and it was, for me, it was great because everything stopped. She had nothing to do but
Like a clean slate.
Like a clean slate. It was. It was just, and I think secretly I wanted to stop. I think I was tired, and then I just sat down and just tried to see what would come out. So anyway, that came out.
And were you there during the beginning of lockdown and going, well, yeah, I'll bring an album out? Or had you music in mind that you thought, God, this would be good for an album?
No, I had no music in mind. No, it was just a case of, okay, just apply for this, see if you get it. I mean, I would have written anyway, whether I got it or not. But it's that incentive that pushes you to get it done. And you have to give a date of release. Now the date was November, but it was yourself, everything was held back. So so it was that kick in the arse that you need just to finish something in a quicker time.
So lockdown was kind of a blessing in disguise.
It was for me.
Yeah.
It was for me because I realised when I did it that I missed writing. I hadn't been doing it for 5 years, and I just thought, Jesus, I'd love to do more of this.
Time for a new one.
Oh yeah.
And so now, let's before we go track by track through this, tell me about getting everyone thinks this is this. Oh, you do this, you record this, you do it at home, and that, but you have to prep for studio time and stuff like that as well, don't you?
Yeah, well, I did all the rough work at home, and so then I went into my brother's, and he sort of with frequencies, and my ears aren't as tuned as his to frequencies of different sounds, because some of the sounds you can have buzzes off them and all sorts of stuff, and and he's so used to recording, and he's so meticulous that You know, there'd be things like, oh geez, that's a bit out of kilter.
Yeah.
You know, it's a bit
He'd
out
hear
of-
things that
he'd hear things that I missed because I'm too close to it.
that's Kieran Tackney, Eileen's brother, who really has sonic
Yeah.
sonar.
Yeah.
He just has. He
Yeah,
hears.
he's good ears.
He
good
hears
out
stuff.
ears.
So look, is this all you?
So this is all me. I did the singing on this. The last album, Joe Beth from Young from Tala to Rise, she sang the last one. So this one, I decided I'd use my own voice because a few people had said to me, why don't you use your own voice? And I was like, no, it wasn't really suitable for the stuff that I did in the last album, but it's suitable for this stuff.
Yeah.
And I used Andrew Malloy to do the violin, Sue King on viola, Carolyn Horn on cello, and Kieran Leonard on baritone. So they were the people that I used.
And everything else is.
Everything else is me and a keyboard.
How did you approach the writing of the songs? And did it,
Well, I suppose I pick a sound, and I go by sound. So I love all that spacey stuff, and I literally go through the library and I click on each sound and go, oh, like that, and then you just play it then, and the sound nearly writes the tune.
Yeah.
It
just
really
carries
does.
itself.
Because you'll play a certain way with a certain sound, and that's how I do it really. Like I don't think about it. I don't be thinking about melodies in my spare time or nothing.
Yeah.
I just sit down and I basically doodle on it.
But it is like a soundscape. Now anyone when you hear this now, if you want to chill out and relax, it's ambient music. It's chill house. That's what I read about there. Yeah, chill house music, and it's so ethereal. There's our word.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Ethereal.
Yeah.
Now that's not Madonna,
Yeah.
not
No.
ethereal girl. No, ethereal. It's just the sound builds around you while you're listening,
Yeah.
and you're getting lost in different sounds and stuff like that. It's just it's comforting. That's what I found.
Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah, because I found like when I was listening to it, when you're doing the mixes, and you have to sit down and you have to sort of analyze it. I was nodding off.
Yeah.
And that's what I found. So I thought, Jesus, if I'm nodding off, that's a good. Now people might take that as not a compliment.
No.
But to me, that's a compliment.
If music can get you in a zone,
Yeah.
uplifting or chilling you out,
Whatever. Yeah.
that's what music is all about.
Yeah.
And it triggers all sorts of endorphins.
Whatever.
There you are, not
Yeah.
dolphins, endorphins in your brain that gives you the high.
Yeah.
Whether you're relaxed or whether makes you want to dance.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of music. What's the difference between this one and your other albums?
Well, I suppose your first album, you're always sort of you're testing things out. I didn't even know what was going to come out in the first album.
Yeah.
Second album was a little bit more experimental, and then I felt then with the 5-year break, I was sort of surprised what came out, but I sort of thought it was more mature than the last one.
Yeah.
I feel now that I'm actually coming into my sound.
Yes, yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're going up.
Yeah, so it's me. This is sort of like, okay, this is where I'm going now.
Yeah.
There's one track there with just a keyboard and violin. Like, geez, I would have never
Yeah.
thought of doing that.
And it's beautiful.
You
It's
know.
absolutely beautiful. Are you trying to convey a message through the album?
I suppose it's not really a message. It's more a sort of a journey, and I see the sort of the tracks as like they're sort of states of mind.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're all, people have said the people that bought them on pre-orders, like they were said that they feel like crying.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
Crying.
Yeah.
You're bringing something up in them, and
You're achieving your aim with your music.
I don't have a name for it because you write it, and then it's like you nearly like I had to sit down with it to see what it was saying to me, because you're not thinking, okay, I want to go a certain way with this. It doesn't. You have to listen to it, and I actually had to sit down and listen to it and see what it was telling me.
And now it's finished, it's done, everything else is done. But do you listen now and go, oh, I should have, as all people working in music do that, they always go,
Yeah, there's a couple of things tuning wise, but there was nothing we could do, and we'd run out of time, and
but tuning wise to a trained ear.
yeah,
I'm not gonna hear and go, oh.
Yeah, and there was, there were small things, and there was a thing towards the end. I was like, Kieran, does that annoy you? if it doesn't annoy you, it doesn't annoy me. You know,
Exactly.
it was annoying me, but if it didn't annoy him, I said, we'll let it go.
It's fine.
You know.
Well, look, we'll talk about the album itself. We'll just go through the songs, right? And
Okay.
you can give us a brief history, I
Okay.
suppose. So
Yeah.
track 1 is Two Worlds.
Okay, so Two Worlds, that's basically how I see it is you're sort of going into, you know, when you're in dream state,
Mm-hmm.
you're going into another world. You know, and some dreams that you have are very real, you swear you were there.
Yeah.
You know, so it's that floating from one world to the other. So I'm using the sort of the pitch bender to convey that.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
so that's, yeah.
That's Two Worlds. And
Yeah.
just before we go to the next one, are they in order? Is this kind of like a
Yeah,
sequence?
there is actually a sequence, although I wasn't conscious of it when I was doing it.
Yeah.
And it seems to, and I did it in the last album as well. There seemed to be a thread going through it.
So it's
Well,
like a concept album.
Sort of,
Sort of,
yeah.
you know.
It's sort of like an emotional ride.
Yes. It's like it's not like Yes, Vangelis, stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's sound stuff and
yeah.
bringing you from one to the other. To the
Yeah.
other. Which brings us to Twilight.
So Twilight to me, that's sort of where you're, let's say you're caught in the astral world, or you're, you know, and you're just there. You're not here. You're
Yeah.
totally there, and it's the keyboard is a lot of reverb on it, and it's just me singing along. So it's just me float. That's, you know, me
Yeah.
floating on the astral world. That's what that is.
As Eileen is telling you this, I have listened to the album a few times, and it's exactly what she's saying. When you hear the album yourself, you'll know that what she's talking about now is making complete sense. Dance of the Ladybirds.
Dance of the Ladybirds. That's it's about a sort of a courtship between obviously two ladybirds, but they're in a relationship.
Yeah.
they're not dating, and then towards the end, it opens up into this orchestral thing, and it's their relationship going to a new level.
Right.
You know, so it's a love story.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, the
yeah.
story of love and how it
Yeah.
evolves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Free Falling.
Free falling, that is to me where you're alone with your thoughts, and you know the way your head does a dance.
Hmm.
It can go to the positive or the negative.
We all have them, yeah.
We all have them,
Yeah.
so you know yourself. It takes a turn, and the free falling, you feel like you're. And
Especially in these times
Yeah.
that we're in at the moment, like, you know, it's
oh
just
yeah, it is. So it's just, and then it comes back to that sort of space. But it's just being alone with your thoughts and just that dance that your head does.
brilliant.
Yeah. So.
And House of Secrets.
House of Secrets that would be the more melancholic, and I actually wrote that around 2013. So,
For any particular reason?
um,
Were you in a state of mind or?
well, the state of mind probably wouldn't have been great,
Mhm.
because I would have been in and out of depression and all that sort of crack. So that's possibly, you know, and sometimes I find myself skipping over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Because
You don't want to be reminded.
Well, it's not even that. It's just it goes from major minor. It's a real haunted house type thing. But to me, it's sort of looking at sort of the dark side of yourself and the things that you don't want to look
Yeah, yeah.
in yourself. You know what I mean? But I still like the track, and I didn't want to lose it because it didn't fit in the other two albums. So I thought I'm going to make it
And
fit.
it does fit here.
Yeah.
And even though Eileen says it's melancholic and that, it does make sense. And
It'd be a nice little soundtrack for a little film.
yes,
Yeah.
a lot of them would. A
Yeah.
lot of them, it's very
Yeah.
great underscores in the movie, and I thought
Yeah.
that too when I was listening to it as well. And that brings us to On the Road Again, Eileen.
Yeah. So that's basically you're right on the other side.
Yeah.
You know, I visualize a road trip, and the video that I did for it is all that sort of stuff.
So it's kind of is it an escape?
Not necessarily an escape. It's a sort of like
A way out.
I'm through the worst of it.
Yeah, pointing in a different
Yeah,
direction.
yeah. Things are good.
Now, the return home.
The return home.
Before you tell me about the return home, why did you call it the return home?
I'm not really sure. Like I molded. You know, I had to really listen to the tracks to get the titles. But you know, I suppose at the end of the day, the return home for me was I was doing something that I love. You know, I actually got back to doing something that I love, and that's right. You know, so to me that was return home to that.
Back to
right.
Back to where you're happiest.
Yeah, yeah,
Brilliant.
yeah.
And yeah, once you get returned home, you're safe as houses.
Yeah, safe as houses. Yeah, that sort of does a road trip with, you know, pace and all that, and it's basically saying through all your trials and tribulations, you know, if you rely on yourself, you know, where I'm just singing on my own, that's, you know, if you rely on yourself, don't be following anybody.
Yeah.
You're grand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't be listening to
Don't be
anybody.
bothering. Yeah.
Don't be listening to anybody.
As I say in cabin, don't be listening to any old shite.
Yeah.
They're just, you know.
Yeah.
And this one is very. I thought this one made me smile now at the last track on this, because I've worked with Eileen for a long time in different guises, be it musicals or whatever else. And together we have come through the advent of the mobile phone, which is the bane of Eileen's life if you're rehearsing with her or playing in any band or any situation with her, because the last track is called "Stay Away from the Phone." And it's a clarion call at rehearsal. Put the phone down, switch it off. But I need to stay away from the phone. Is this? Have I explained it already?
You sort of have. Well, I mean, it took me. I didn't know what to write about. I mean, the music was going down the road of a song. I didn't want to do a song, but I liked the riff, and I thought, okay, I'll explore this. So it took me ages to figure out what I was going to write about.
Yeah.
And anyway, the words eventually came, and it turned out to be on the phone. But it was all that thing of, you know, when you're walking and you see people and their heads are buried in their headphones, like, and you pass them and they don't even say hello to you.
Yeah.
You know what I
they're
mean?
vacant.
Yeah, it's just, and I'm like, you know, you don't, you know, and they really don't know what they're missing.
Yeah.
You know, there's no contact with humans. You can't hear the birds. You can't. You know, and I personally don't get that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people when they're jogging, they want music and it propels them to jog. But when you're walking,
yeah, but I agree with you there, because when people are jogging and that's to get them going.
drive, yeah.
But like you see, mostly the younger generation. Nothing wrong with the younger generation.
No.
But they are the whole communication's lost.
Oh yeah, and like we're all in the same boat. I mean,
Yeah.
we're all in the same boat.
Yeah, we're all
getting
by it.
stuck to technology.
Yeah.
I'm stuck to computer all day.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I've seen recently on a TV program where someone who'd be of my vintage saying, not so long ago I was cursing technology and phones and stuff like that. And with lockdown and the way it is, his kids are all over the world. He says now I have to embrace it.
Yeah, and
He says because it's the only way I can communicate with them, which is...
Yeah, and I have to embrace it because I'm very resistant to Facebook and all of that sort of crack. Like, and I'm doing a digital upskilling course, and the little animation video came out of that, you know, and it's nice to learn new things, but unfortunately you're stuck to the fucking computer.
Well, like David Bowie said, the internet is offering us so much good and bad.
Yeah, it is.
You know, and it is true.
Yeah.
So I think the return home, you haven't had... Now, if you're watching this after the launch, that Eileen's going to tell you about now, you've missed it. But you can still go and get the... It's on all digital platforms.
Yeah, it will be. You can get it at eileentackney.com, and just be careful when you're buying it. There's a little box that you have to tick, and you have to terms and conditions of music glue. You have to take it. Some people were you know, a little bit
unaware of
mystified.
that,
Yeah, they couldn't do it. So it's on Bandcamp as well. It will be on Spotify and iTunes and all those. Yeah, it will be on all those.
And Facebook.
Facebook.
We'll be letting people know through Facebook.
Yeah, I'll put the link up, but you just put my name in YouTube and I'll come up. So I'm the only one.
This is very, very weird. If you Google Eileen Tackney, she's the only one in the world that comes up. I've done this.
Yay!
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
It's
Yeah.
Eileen Tackney Cavan. You know, it's brilliant.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Because it's
Absolutely.
unique. Instagram and Twitter and all them things.
Yeah, Twitter.
We'll be doing all them things. So keeping it track. And tell us about the launch now. Now, if you're watching this after the launch, you've missed it. But go and get the album now, The Return Home. So where is it? It's going to be...
So, Sunday week, the 31st of January at 8 p.m. So an online launch. A lot of people don't know what it is. Basically play the album at 8 o'clock. From beginning to end, I've images and little videos in it, and then I just take it down.
And now it's interactive though, isn't it?
It's interactive, yeah. There's a little chat thingy about with the side, and hopefully I'm not tech savvy. Hopefully that'll work.
Yeah,
Sure.
I will. It would work.
Yeah,
I've seen this done before, and it is really
Yeah.
great the way you'll be able to chat to Eileen live online, ask her any questions about the album, about her past. Ask her anything. She's like an agony aunt for that, but more so ask about the album and help us on and your favourite tracks and stuff like that. So wherever you are watching in the world, please, join us on the night of the launch. 31st?
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah,
31st, yeah. So if you're watching this in
Yeah.
February, just go and get the album.
Yeah.
Eileen, that's it. Now we've covered the Facebook, Instagram. She's available everywhere and all digital platforms, and you get the return home on what's the best one?
I suppose the big one people use the Spotify
Spotify,
or
yeah.
Apple Music or iTunes. They're the main ones.
Yeah.
There's all these Deezer that I've never even heard of.
Oh yeah, this is another one that was.
And Para something, right?
Yeah. And will you be bringing out any other videos with?
As in a single type
Yeah.
thing. I'll have to think about that.
Yeah.
I'll have to think about that.
But in the meantime, go and get the album now.
Yeah.
Pre-order now. You can pre-order and get it, so it's nice and safe. And I guarantee you, this is just so chill. It's just put it on, relax, get a drink.